We're going to add and subtract some radicals here. Part A is the cube root of 16x minus the cube root of 54x. I've got a lot of hope for this problem because both of the indices in the two terms that we're subtracting is 3. Now the radicands don't match, one's 16x and one's 54x, so we cannot subtract them yet. They're not like radicals, but let's see if we can simplify them and maybe get some like radicals out of them. First we'll take the cube root of 16x and we'll factor this 16 as 8 times 2 times x. You know, 8 is a perfect third power, so I like to have that in the front. So that's the cube root of 8 times 2 times x. And let's take the the 54, and let's factor that as 27 times 2 times x. And I like the 27 because the 27 is a perfect third power. Now let's bust apart each of the factors, the cube root of 8 times the cube root of the rest of the stuff. I leave the rest of the stuff together, the 2x, because neither of those are perfect cubes. They're not coming outside. Bring down the minus sign and bust apart the cube root of 27, that's a perfect cube, times the cube root of the rest, 2x. Now we're going to evaluate the cube roots of perfect cubes. The cube root of 8, in other words, a number whose third power is 8, is the number 2. Times, bring down the cube root of 2x. Bring down the minus sign. The cube root of 27 is 3 because 3 cubed equals 27. And then times, bring down the cube root of the rest, 2x. So now factor out the cube root of 2x to the back because we have like radicals now. We've got 2 minus 3 parenthesis times the cube root of 2x is equal to a negative 1 times the cube root of 2x. So it's negative cube root of 2x. For part B, we have 5y times the square root of 8y plus 2 times the square root of 50y cubed. Let's see if we can simplify each of these radicals and maybe get some common radicals to add together here. So I'm going to factor the 8 as 4 times 2 times y, because the 4 is a perfect square, it's in the front, plus 2 times, factor the 50 is the perfect square, 25, and then factor the y cubed is y squared times the y, and then the 2 from 25, I'll just stick it in the back. Okay, so let's bust apart these guys. We've got 5y times the square root of 4 times the square root of the rest, 2y, plus 2 times the square root of 25 times the square root of y squared times the square root of everything that's left, y times 2. Okay, simplifying, we get, well, the square root of 4 in the first term is 2, so it's 5 times y times 2 times the square root of 2y. Bring down the plus 2 times, evaluate the square root of 25, it's 5, times y when they cancel the square and the square root, and that's times the square root of y times 2. Now let's multiply, we get 10y times the square root of 2y plus 10y times the square root of 2y. y times 2 is the same as 2 times y. So we have 10y of these guys plus 10y more, gives me a total of 10y plus 10y times parenthesis the square root of 2y, which is 20y times the square root of 2y.